I hear tap dancing.
It's a little Dryden soft shoe for you.
Yeah, soft shoe. What's going on, YouTube world? Steve, Vinny, Dave, IRP number 127. Chat today a little bit about Wrestlemania.
You'll chat a little bit about WrestleMania because
Vinny will give his 30-point synopsis of the card every match with possibilities of finishes, storyline progression, what's going to happen. So I will let him and Ghost do their roundtable because it's about as good as roundtables that have been going on right now. Exactly.
if that's the case, he needs to be there.
Yeah,
if he's going to lead the charge.
He needs.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Even better. Yeah, it's time for a haircut there, man. You're on mute.
I shaved off the beard. I just got to do the rest.
See, Ghost agrees. It's like, you're on mute, you dumbass. What the hell are you doing?
That's Dryden, actually, the smarter person.
Whatever furry four-legged friend is milling about and bored. And hopefully the bourbon is nearby so Vinny can take a bump and give the pups a little medicine, and as the market for certain players still is very, very strong, and
odd.
It just.
And the reason I say that, because Vinny and I was that Sunday? We were chatting. Sunday. And we got on the subject. And it's like, I know he got some decent ones in, some that I would consider a steal. He'll show some of them off here in a minute, but it's odd to me how there are certain cards from certain years just seem to just fluctuate more than others. One in particular, as we know, and me personally, not knowing the hockey market, I get what's the word I'm looking for? I get the love and understanding and the appreciation for the 96, 97 certified mirror golds. I do. I do. I get it. But
that's the one I thought of right away.
In my opinion, that's like a $300 card. They're not. I understand there's the stated print run, but that's the stated print run. Do we really know how many were produced? It's no different in football. We have a stated print run in football. Do we know if that's actually the number that were produced?
Yep.
And I don't want to say it's not rare, because it is. You don't see them come up very often. But at the same time, it's like they're still all in the same 500 plus range. And to me, that seems high. But then again, I'm not a hockey guy. I know that there is much more love and focus on some of the older, rarer stuff than there is on the football side. But I'm speaking out both sides of my mouth because I haven't bothered to look. You can't tell me that Brett Favre or an Emmitt Smith is going for $500 in the football market.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem feasible.
Marino, I don't. Yeah. $350, maybe pushing $400 potentially, but that's the one that seems so strange to me. And then there's others, and Vinny, we'll let you chat here in a second about it because we'll get into this subject first because we have the opportunity. Then there's others he'll talk about, normally go between $80 and $120, and he snags it for like 35 or 40. And we're talking a matter of days or a week sometimes in some of these. It's not like we're talking months. We're
No.
talking days and weeks. And I'll let you jump in, Vinny, and let you kind of talk through some of your stuff, show off some of the pickups, go over some of your disdain, because I know it's a disdain. And then I'll kind of jump in on some of my stuff too, because I've noticed some interesting things for my player as of late. So, Vinny, soapbox extend. Oh, shit. Got the dogs out.
The same year, the blue, what that went for.
And that wasn't even the mirror
That's
blue. That was the regular blue one for 100 and some bucks. So
that
I'm looking.
that one just absolutely fucking floored me.
What?
Yeah. So hold on. So the last set was 515.25 US. That was 323. So that was the last one. On 3-1, one sold for 438. Right?
Mhm.
Mirror golds. There's 2 graded mirror golds right now. $6,000 for one of them, and $22.99 for the other one.
What's the grades?
Probably 8.5.
Gem Mint 10. How that
Okay.
card got a Gem Mint 10.
Okay, that's the $6,000 one. Okay.
And the other one looks like, hold on,
a 9. It has to be a 9.
it's a 9 without
Okay.
the protector.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Because as we know, most non-graded pack pulled are 8s.
Yeah.
So you, in essence, you had one that went for what, 435? You said to 515 in a matter of. That one probably has a few months in between, specific to the mirror gold. But it's like you would have thought the 435 would have been the peak.
Yeah, I was wrong. I'm looking up the other one right now. I'll end up getting clawed in there, but I don't care. Well, why it does its thing. That was the Greg Morris auction, and it was just like, so the last red, non-mirror red went for $35, and I think I bought it. So,
which to me that seems high.
And it's about what they go for. The blue went for $103.50. That was the last one. The mirror gold, like I said, on 3-1 was $438. There was a mirror gold PSA 8, just a red without the protector on it, went for $18.50. I bought that. So that was that one. And that's that. There's nothing else on Sell the Peak other than those 2 that they're graded ones. And like I said, I need the gold, I need the mirror blue. I have a plethora of reds. I think I have 9 or 10 of the reds. I have 2 of the blues, the regular blues. I have the mirror red. I have a half destroyed mirror red. And that's that. But to tell you the truth, if I don't get those, I'm not dying over it.
Yeah, but what's nice though is when you have the disparity of the 435 and the 515, you have some wiggle room if you happen to come across it at a show.
Yeah.
Because, okay, even if you average it, you're what are you thinking? What, 470, give or take, would be the average, 465?
I bid 480 on one of them and lost. Better half was the underbidder on this last one. So it's not like we haven't gone all in. for it. Again, Greg Morris auction, a little more seen probably than most. Like I said, out of those 57 auctions that I went at that night, I won 2.
Well, you have to think though, it's on consignment, which means whoever may have consigned with him for those Lemieux cards could have been amping it up with people though too. So it got some added additional visibility.
That's always a possibility.
Because I also stated Greg Morris, California, ending stuff at 10 o'clock, that's 1 a.m. on the East Coast.
Yep.
You actually reduce your bidding potential when you do stuff like that.
Yep.
Because, like, for me, I always ended my stuff at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 7 Pacific. Because I felt like that was the possibility of getting the most eyes on something because it isn't super late on the East Coast and it isn't super early on the West Coast. Now, I can't say that it made a hill of beans, but in my thought process, if I'm going to accept consignments, I want to make sure that this is going to sound really bad. I don't give 2 shits what my consigner makes. I want to make sure that I have a decent amount of cash coming in from said consignment. I'm doing the work for somebody. They're getting a lot of the percentage aspect of it, but I want to make sure I'm making a decent amount of money too. And in order to do that, you need to make sure that the shit has the potential of selling for the highest possible amount of money. And that would be making sure that you have internationally, if you ship internationally, the most amount of potential views and opportunities for somebody to bid on a card. So, and I was going to ask Joe if, that was part of your issue too, because I know that there was some stuff that, based on what Vinny was saying, there was some stuff that you were watching or interested in. But 1 o'clock in the morning, man, depending on what time you got to get up and go to work. I know Dave ain't going to stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning bidding on shit, unless it's one in which it's like, oh shit, I have never seen this card. This is a must have. That would be the only time.
Yeah, if it's and I've done that before where I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed earlier than usual, set my alarm. If I'm up after because I win something, that's fine. I can factor that in. But if it's like the Topps Chrome Super, if it's a finest, if it's something that I've been searching for, I will do whatever I fucking have to do to make sure I'm bidding on it at that time because I don't want to do I'll bid ahead and then somebody will fucking, like Steve just said, with the consignment, you are always at the mercy of the person who's throwing those cards up, not the actual person who's got the auctions going, but the person who has given them to said consigner to put up. I'm in the same boat where I don't fucking trust somebody, especially if it's like all that Lemieux stuff. There's so many cards. I'm like, I got that one over a doer. I've never seen that card. I've never seen this one. So you start factoring in that, just the rareness and the common availability of some of these. And then you have, well, hey, Joey Jojo, hey, fucking Team Schmedium, hey, fucking Asshat McGee. You guys sort of like rotate, look up X on this particular seller's auctions and bump them up a little bit. I have a good feeling where they're going to go. I mean, if you put X amount and if they've talked over it and sort of plan a strategy, yeah, you can maximize your money. But again, that's why you hope for our sake at Chicago. Vinny sees that gold peeking out. or the Mirror Blue. Even I'd be fucking. You will hear me screaming, Vinny, as I'm like trying to jump and my stomach's saying, "No, hold on, man. We this is a multi-person carriage down here. We cannot get up more than 6 inches." I said, "Today you will, and the knees will go out." So I will be screaming Vinny and Mirror Blue or Mirror Gold or something, and I'll be trying to like either I'll already have negotiated a deal and be like, Christmas has come early, or I'll have the deal and we'll exchange funds or we'll do something where it's like, no, it's not going to be leaving without somebody in the group getting it for that other person. It's not like Steve, if he's got his top 5 wants, which I know he never really does a top tier stuff, but you're like, I look for A, B, C, D, and in whatever order, but it's like if I know what you're looking for the most, if I know what Bob's looking for, Michael Phillips, Smitty goes there. What Eric Berry's, what Vinny's looking for, what Joe's looking for, Carlos, what Madonna's are. What's he looking for? Stove, Mark, what's he? We'll have some sort of game plan, even if we gotta sit down and be boring for like an hour and just say, hey, everybody's got a piece of paper, write as legibly as you can, or even that might be like something we do off air before the national, like just get a bunch of people and be like, let's fucking at least have something together where we know at least a top 10. And it can be like, oh, Madonna's to 25 or under. And if Carlos is that way, or Steve's like, hey, anything 10 and under, because again, those are things that I don't have on my fucking list. Those are things I don't count towards it. So obviously, those are going to be some of the ones I really want, other than the Mirror Golds and the ones of that nature, the PMG, the credentials and shit like that. It's like,
Yeah, because I still need the Mirror Gold. I still
yeah,
need the certified or the what is it, the premium stock Mirror Red. I mean, those are 2 big ones. Essential credentials from '97. You know, that's a big one. What is it, 90, 98? What is it, the then and now? One's numbered to 13 or whatever.
13
I think
was,
I have I have the 99. Both of them from 99. One's numbered to 68 and one's to 13, I think. So I have those.
Atomic.
And of course the Atomic would be another one.
You've got the no number one, but still, again, that's stuff that, again, just, and that's where you'd rather do it at a show and not fucking deal with questionable bidding, especially when you see that Mirror Gold's now at 300. It's got 84 bids. It's like, wow, something's going on here, because you can't just sit there and 205, 207.50, 210. It's like, no, if you're a fucking bidder, I bid up to 200. Okay. You're outbid immediately. You're not even registered. Okay. Then I'll go 220. I'm not going to fucking go up incrementally and waste my time. Yeah. If I'm somebody that's looking to procure this card, that's how I'm always going to look at it. I don't care if somebody says, well, that's how I bid. Well, then you're fucking stupid. You're wasting time. I'm not saying go up to your max, but in the same sense, don't fucking nickel and dime up to that point. That it looks questionable AF, because that's something that anybody that's an experienced bidder on eBay, especially when it comes to the Probsteins, the PWCCs, the Evolution Sports Marketing, all these fuckers that have like the consignments that have been around forever. When you have that type of bidding activity, it lends to actually the people that want to fucking go after the card hardcore. Like, I'm starting to get cold feet. I don't care how much I want it. If it's a 1-on-1, I'm paying. It's at the same point. It's like you have to pay for the one or to 5.
Yep. Well,
So
to five, you have some leeway.
depending
Not much.
on the year.
Yep, not much. But newer products that are being opened, numbered to 5.
I'm a little
And
more lenient.
I am too. I've been known to be the first one out of the stocks to go after something, and I won't say it nailed me in the pocketbook. We're not talking, 50, 60, 70, $100 more. But at the time I was doing that, the TD market was not what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those in which I'm definitely a lot more patient nowadays than what I was before, only because this kind of goes in line with the fact that I'm seeing shit that should be 30, 40, $50 all day long going for 60, 80, $100, and I'm sitting there going, what the fuck are these people smoking?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not the guy I once was either, because when 2010, 2011, 2012, I was the guy. And I used that to my advantage when I would engage eBay sellers and be like, hey, would you take this? Well, I don't know. I just bought this one for this. I just bought this one for this. Here's the auctions. I'm your guy. If you want to sell it, I'm your guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand if you don't. I'm not going to be pissed off if you don't. But if you want to let it run on auction, just know I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to win it, and I'm going to pay less. Yeah, I was a little bit arrogant and cocky in those days because, like I said, I was the guy. And I knew I was the guy. But now it's like I'm hesitant to reach out to some of these people because the prices just fluctuate so freaking much that I can't even get a cost basis. That's why I window shop so much more nowadays, is because I can't even get a cost basis to see, okay, what's the happy medium for me to go after some of this? I can't even do it. And Baz, the short answer to your question, most of the stuff that we're talking about, you may see some of like the bigger names at shows, like your top tier guys at shows, but a lot of it you're going to see most of it online on eBay because that's where you're going to get the most eyes on it and the most traction.
Yeah, unless you're buying collections and you're like, I'm doing a lot of the $1, $5, $10 type boxes. You're just buying stuff. You got, so you buy 100 cards, 200 cards in a collection. You buy it for 10 cards. You know what you can get for those 10 cards, and everything else is sort of gravy. You're not going to really look through some of that stuff. You might flip quickly. Okay, who's that? Oh, it's a Patriots helmet. Okay, that's a Tom Brady. We'll take that out because we can make a little more on that. There's a Hall of Fame patch, even if it's player worn. Well, we can make something on that. But a lot of that stuff, you see like a Vincent Damfus to 36, nobody's going to sit there and be like, man, I got to take that out and put in the case. Charlie Garner, you're not putting that in the case that's number 24. You don't care about that. So unless you find sort of that honey hole at a show, which they are out there, but they're few and far between, you're not going to see a lot of the, even like a Milan Hayjuk. You're not going to see him sitting in somebody's case. Alex Tanguay, which again, people collected these guys and they still do, but
You're not going to see this in a case. I stumbled across this. Most people are going to be like, what the fuck is this?
just
Standing room only. It's to 25. And this is rookie. Anquan Bolden had a decent career.
Yeah, he did.
And it's like, I know, 2 years ago, I think, I had, what was it? The parallel to 150. I can't remember what the variation is out of Flair Authentics.
Okay.
Tom Brady. At that time, Tom Brady was selling not as hot as what he has been, but I sold that card for like 100 and something bucks. And, I had it buy it now best offer. I probably should have let it ride on auction, but I wasn't going to run the chance of it going for almost nothing either, because I think you got one or two. No, maybe you got up to 4 numbered parallels in a box.
4 numbered cards, because I think the rookies were to sort of tiered. Again, it was like
They were.
Kevin Curtis was like to like $8.99 or something, and maybe Bolden was to like $5.99, and then you get like the quote, not the lottery picks, but like the rookie premier top 10 guys were like to $3.99 or $4.99, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, but I mean, the stumbling across this, and I've had this sitting out for a while, because it's like, I'm sure there's Anquan Bolden collectors out there. Somebody'd love to probably have this card. I'd rather it go to a collector maybe that somebody knows and be like, hey, here, Merry Christmas type situation. But, and I keep stumbling across random shit from time to time as I hunt through all this stuff. But, it's, I don't know. And Dave, you would be proud of me. Last week's show I talked about, because we got on the subject of Topps Chrome, I did pull out the autograph set. So I can actually show off the autograph set at some point tonight. I pulled it out.
Well, I think if our subject was anything other than wrestling, people of the year in droves, and instead of trickling in, and what's going on, Eric?
Well, you know what? If they were paying attention last week, I said I would pull it out. I was like, maybe next week's show I'll pull it out and we'll reminisce a little bit. But I mean, they're sitting right here. That's one box. And they're all in mags too. And there's the other box. So 50 autographs. Of course, I'll go in backwards order. And great, I'm sitting here on camera by myself. That's always fun. I know, Dave, you were stuffing your face briefly, but did you spill? Is that why you went off camera? But I'll go in backwards order at some point. But I at least remembered. Dinner choosing of the evening.
And then there's some like little pot sticker things too that can never go wrong with those. I'm the sweet chili sauce and
oh, Eric. You're lucky there's not more people in here, or I'd be forced to have them force you to pay. At some point, I'm going to have to talk to Carlos and figure out how he recreated the new layout so I can implement it here. We can start putting Vinny and or anybody who's naughty into the tiny corner over in the far right-hand side. I don't know if anybody watched Carlos's show on Friday, but Eric was a mini for part of the evening when Brad was on. It was actually quite humorous. But yeah, and so Joe, I'm that surprises me, your comment, being that being the expo, you would expect the bulk to be hockey, which I'm sure it is, and we lost Vinny. Hopefully he'll jump in the chat. But being the national pastime in Canada, people would be a little bit more interested or intrigued or knowledgeable on some of the 90s rarities that are out there. That surprises me. That surprises me.
Like I said too, like especially when you're in Toronto, you're up there, it's Hockeyville. You think, okay, well maybe it's not a Maple Leaf or a Canadian, maybe they might not move, but you're not getting to the point of the national, but you're starting to draw the crowd of the national, being that it's not all just like, hey, I collect Maple Leafs, that's all I'm looking for. I collect Dallas Stars, that's all I'm looking for. You're starting to get these goofballs and doofuses up there too, and just some other general people that are like, oh, I like refractors, I like solo or what are the hollow cards, all that shit. You're not just getting the old school guys or the set collectors. You still have those folks, but now you've got the go to the WWF references. Now you got the 1995 WWF. It's the new generation of folks that they're looking for different stuff. So it's like, well, I can't keep the same stuff constantly in the boxes. I'll keep that. Maybe I've got some stuff I haven't brought in a couple years or whatever, and put it in there. But yeah, you'd think that would change. Yeah, you'll sell Gretzky. Yeah, you'll sell Lemieux. Yeah, you'll sell Forsberg. Yeah, you'll sell Waugh, Lindros. Gretzky. Yeah, you'll sell Lemieux. Yeah, you'll sell.
Is there an echo in here?
It's going to hit the thumbs up button.
Uh-huh.
So
a little bit of echoage. Yeah, just remember, Eric. No yelling at people. That's unacceptable. I'll put your ass in timeout.
Indoor boys.
I'll put you in timeout. I can't put you in timeout visually, but I can put you in timeout.
For the Expos, what, the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd April. So I'm trying to get my list done to give to Joe so he could take it with him, because that's what he did last time, to look for stuff for me. And he had that son of a gun memorized. I sent him a screenshot of a legal pad piece of paper, and I mean, he's like, how good is that screenshot you sent me? I said, probably not good anymore. Because that was from November last year. You know, I've grabbed some of that obscure stuff that's popped up. Mm-hmm. I've grabbed it. And it's the obscure stuff that I don't. I've been paying less for the obscure stuff and more for the more obvious stuff, I guess. But today it went off in the middle of the day. I'm like, I got this. There's no way I can lose this. Let's get back here. 2003, 2004, SP Authentic, 817. So Lemieux has a regular one, and he has one number to 99. Mm-hmm. Well, this one's numbered to 99. It's freaking KSA 8 in a freaking KSA slab. It was like $26 US plus $16 shipping. I'm like, whatever. I want this card because I've only seen it 2 or 3 times. I'm like, I'm going to take it down. So I bid whatever, and I'm like, I got it. No one else has bid on it. 7 seconds left. I put my bid in. with 1 second left, you've been outbid. I'm like, who? Seriously? Seriously. Of all freaking cards, a KSA 8, but the person who bid on it has a 6 in front. Huh?
It was Joe. It was Joe.
No, it's it is playing days, so it could be the doctor.
It was Joe. Shame on
you.
you, Joe. How dare you? No, I'm kidding.
3,103 feedback, though. So that's pretty high. So I've been with, it was 10 hours, 7 minutes, and 14 seconds ago. He had his bid in, or they had their bid in, 10 hours, 7 minutes, 13 seconds. So they had a snipe set. So they took it down. And it's not the most attractive of cards. It's not. I mean, I'll show it to you here. There's nothing special to that. Like I said, I got the regular one, but that was SP limited to 99. And I just need that one to check it off the list. So then there's other things like this, which you do not see very often. You're like, number to 100. Yeah, let me tell you how many times I've seen this thing. Not very much. $40. Buy it now. Boom, done, gone. In no questions asked. No thinking twice. $40, gone. 40 Canadian. Boom, done. So this is 0809 artifacts. So that took one off the list. Then these go between 100, around 100. I dropped these going down the stairs, up the steps today. So I got dust on them, and I was so pissed off. But there's the 0203 refractor, but just the regular base. These
What was that again, Vinny?
refractor. A freaking refractor.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I wanted to double check and make sure there wasn't a new variation called the refractor. So I just wanted to ask.
Refractor. Your ass is a reflector. There, see that I needed to do. I had to do it that time, Dad. I had to do it. So,
I have accomplished my lifelong goal.
Yes, he has.
I have done it.
That cell phone's gonna be ringing real quick.
Oh yeah,
I have done it.
He's gonna watch the replay, and he's gonna be like, "Boy,
I have done it. I have done it."
I'm gonna be like, Dad, I couldn't help myself. He set it up, and I used your line because my dad would say that.
I can retire now.
Yep.
So I can retire.
But that was $40. Buy it now. So, and I think I made an offer on it. So that wasn't bad. This I've never seen before. Out of Pacific. And I don't even remember what I paid for it.
Not important, honestly, because it's
true.
in your hand. It's in your hand, and it was what you were willing to pay.
True.
Now,
25 Canadian.
Unless you spent like $600 on it, then we'd all probably crawl through the computer and strangle you. But
yeah, $25 Canadian. Not numbered, but it's one I needed. I was overjoyed. I think this is the strike year. So anything out of the strike year is not bad. And then this is just a mad-made patch from this year. And I think I even cracked this. Yeah, I did. I cracked the top loader because it fell out. It was in front. But that's just I liked his setup on that side. So these are short printed. These manufactured patches, but it was like I think 20 some bucks. And I was like, I'll take it down for that. Some of them go for $50 or $60. I need a 1999 Canadian Ice Mary Lemieux scrapbook set 500 with Ray Bork. I might have that. I will look for you, Eric. I will see if I have an extra. I don't have many extras. I have that whole set, less the autograph. And I do not think I have many extras, but I will check for you. If I do have it, it's yours. So, but it's the obscure things that
for $500.
Yeah.
Payable to the get out of jail fund for national.
Yeah, that's probably a better served thing because I won't do it because Vinny doesn't work that way. So that's been.
I'm trying to build up the bail fund, Vinny.
Yeah.
Stop.
Well, like I said, the Greg Morris auction, I won 2 cards out of 57 I bid on. Not all strong bids. I didn't even go after the mirror gold. I tried to get the blue, and I think I bid $42 for it because I like to have a third one. Why? Because I like blue better than I like the gold. I think anything with a blue, like blue ice, is like ice. So anything with a blue background or even a purple for hockey, I think it's sharp as hell. So that's what I look for.
Don't you also need the mirror blue too?
I do need the mirror blue, but I was just trying to get the regular blue.
No, I understand. I just, I thought you did, but it's one of those in which I started second guessing myself.
Yeah. If I got the mirror blue, I'd probably be happy because I'd rather have like a jambalaya or essential credential than I would that mirror gold because I like the picture of him in it better. I like that uniform better. It's all about the uniform for me.
It's all about the setup.
It's about the setup, baby. I'm all about the setup. So
I quit.
No. And then Carlos's favorite new topic was the SP Authentic Signature Series that came out for roughly $200 a box. And I went through that and put the Lemieux checklist. I have one card that they sent me the wrong card, so I picked up the one. So there's a 6-card set I'll show you here in a second called Profiles. It's their bounty in that. So one of the scratchers.
Yep.
So I won P29, but they sent me P27 instead. So I have another one of those. So today I had to get P29. So now I have that. And then so to finish the base non-autograph stuff, I just need one more card. So that's the base, which it's thin stock. It's not anything out of the ordinary. There's a gold parallel that reminds you of a gold script. So that's just the parallel version. There's the profiles. So he has 6 of them. There's 25. There's number 26. I have 4 of number 27 because I had to buy a combo deal. I bought one, got one real cheap, got sent one incorrectly, and had to buy 2 cards in a combo deal. So I have 4 of these. That's P27. And then that's 28. And that is 30. So, yeesh. Got to clean the basement floor. Good Lord. Then there's a canvas. Man, I took a chunk out of that top loader. See it at the bottom? There it is. With a dog hair sticking off of it. That's real attractive. But that's the canvas. There's dominant digits. And then there's the Evolve. And the Evolve has a numbered gold parallel to 99. And that be which is number 78, which was my hockey number. So even better. And then lastly, the Decagon, which is pretty slick. Nice and shiny. So all those are in.
No, that's shiny.
Shiny, yeah. That's
So
easy to
shiny.
say. Shiny. So then that leads up to this thing. So Steve had his a couple weeks back. Now I have mine. So this is the first one of these things to ever come in the mail for me. So world debut here. That is the Future Watch acetate version, short print out of that SP Signature Series. I paid the I want it now tax. I want it first tax. I paid cheaper than the other ones that went to auction. And I was the first one on eBay to pick one off. So this is the first one that was on eBay. It was a buy it now. I didn't haggle, didn't send messages. I'm a dedicated Lemieux collector. If you only knew, you would give me a discount. No, I just bought the friggin' thing because it's friggin' gorgeous. Because I'm not able to afford the Future Watch Auto, which are going, I think none of them went off, but they want like anywhere from 1,800 starting bid to $3,000. And
That's couch money. That's couch money, man. Come on.
I got dogs to feed. So
you ain't fooling nobody. That's couch money. He's got all the high-end Lemieux autos hidden. He just hadn't bothered to show anybody. I've seen them.
Mm-hmm. right next to my 52 Mantle rookie.
Oh, you mean the three that you have?
Yeah. Giving each one of the kids one.
Yeah, the two 9s and the 8 that you have that you've been sitting on for a while.
That are signed by Mickey.
No, you just deflated the value. I don't care what anybody says, unless it's a reprint of a rookie autographed. If you get cards autographed like in person on rookie cards, as far as I'm concerned, you completely like ruin the value.
We have heard personal opinion. Story.
Personal opinion.
Yes. So box can retract. I can go back to normal size, please. I'm kind of freaked out right now.
Yeah, well, like I said, I quit.
Thank you, Ghost. I greatly appreciate it.
It's all his fault.
Most things are.
Could have said it's all your fault.
Most things are that. Either it's me or the dog, one or the other.
I can relate to that.
No, the blue ice that you showed, I remember that one. I know there's another one that was like, that one really, I was like, whoo. Because that was 2.5-ish, somewhere in there. And I'm like, okay, I know what I got my Roder for. Again, off ComC, off Carlos's boy and fellow hobby insider, long time, maybe one of the founders, Quincy, Steve Angel. And I got mine, I think, and again, I don't even remember when. $40. So I was beyond stoked for that because of and the retro. That was the other one.
Yeah, the 05. These things go for stupid money.
Which I baffling on that because again, it's a short print in the set, but it's not like a stated print run short print. It's like an old Young Gun, a 1 in 8, a 1 in those I think were 1 in either a box or every couple boxes. But it wasn't like something that was a case hit. It wasn't like every 2 cases. It wasn't every. You got 3 per case. It was. You still saw those with some regularity. It wasn't the fucking, oh my God, somebody pulled the retro Young Gun and it was a color swap or a image variation or something. It was, again, they were fairly common. So when you said it went for that much, I just, what? Well, I mean, I know they're different beasts, but I know I got the exclusives of Brodeur, and that was like 1 to 120-ish, somewhere in there. And those are to 50. It's not the usual number to 100. So for a Lemieux base, no number, to go for twice as much as a one that is serial number to 50 of a, again, it's not fucking Rick Tocchet, it's not Doug Gilmour, who again, Hall of Fame players, but when you're talking upper echelon, yes, there's a difference in categorizing some of these guys, but Brodeur isn't like, oh man, it's Grant Fierce sneaking in because he had a bunch of Stanley Cups with. So here we go. Is Joe with some information. 6 per box. So I mean, a 1 in 4 or a 1 in 6, depending on the pack out. So it isn't like it's something that's fucking. You don't see it. Again, if this was like McDavid's rookie year and people are all going wild for those, I get it. But there isn't. I don't think a rookie that's absolutely on fire. Because again, at the top of that draft class, I know the one from Montreal is out for the year. Jack Eye's out for the year, the undrafted guy. Their defenseman, that he's out. He's been out for a while. So I mean, there isn't anybody. Matty Beniers, I think, is probably the most steady rookie of the year. But it's not like a class where you're sitting there and like, holy crap, these guys are tearing it up, and I've got to go back and look at every upper deck Young Gun there is. So to see that pricing on that Lemieux was just shocking. Then the blue, but then you see the Pacific ones. I'm like, God, that just for me seems cheap. Because I like the 1 to what 55. That one, like the Vanguard in focus or whatever.
I stole that. I stole
it. Those ones are just insane. You don't see them. And
second one I ever saw. First one was Buy It Now for so long, and I never took it down.
Quiet, Mike. I'm trying to covertly pick up a Young Gun of him as I watched the second period of the game last night against Seattle. So to see 2 goals, and then I said, I'm going to go sleep. They're going to win. If I would have just waited 1 minute into the third period, I could have seen the hat trick, but I chose not to. So and welcome, Mike. Yeah, just seeing some of those prices, I'm like, good lord. I know he's going to be more than Brodeur. I know he's going to be more than Forsberg. He's going to be more than Waugh. Gretzky's out of that by then, so I mean, he's going to be most of the time the top guy. But to see such like a discrepancy in some of the stuff I paid, and again, even if it came up to auction now, again, I don't know where it would go, but I can't imagine. But then we discussed through text, I think last week, some of the Brodeur stuff that went off, and there was that the Paramount to 99, and that thing went for 100, and then there was a Pacific Copper, I think to 50, that went for 50, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm not going to list them, but it's like, who are the people buying and what do they need? Because I've got a lot of the like the platinum blues to like whatever 45 or premier dates to 45. I've got a lot of those things that were on ComC way back in 2020, June, July, and I'm like, I better pick these up now. And I didn't. But then when I had that first big deal with BB Express, Josh, down in Monticello, we made that big sale. Then I'm like, okay, I've got to do this now because I don't want to wait and look back. And so it was like $22.50, $24 for that. You just look at some of the stuff and you don't know why. You certainly don't know who. But that was one of the good parts about talking with that Kelvin, who hooked me up with the one dude to sell me the dealer's choice, where it's like he's like, there's like and I know of like 4 or 5 guys on Instagram that I follow that are Brodeur guys. But just to say, okay, he contacted those guys because obviously he's friends with them. He meets them at the expo, talks with them, group chats and shit like that. I'm not on that level. I doubt I ever will be. So he's like, nobody fucking went after any of that stuff. And I'm like, huh. So I know when I won the one I was really looking at for what I wanted for, I'm like, then are you guys not looking at this? Because this card should go a lot more than $3 more than the Paramount to 99. It should be a lot more than twice the Pacific Copper. It should probably be outbid on the. I showed Vinny the homegrown or whatever it was, the Gretzky, a 95-96 Gretzky fucking goes for 182 tops insert. So I'm like, the Brodeur got theoretically should go for more than that, but is able to get that and a Gretzky Cherries Picks, because I don't think I've got that, for like 115 shipped. And the Brodeur is one that I don't know if I showed you guys or not. I know I showed Vinny in our back and forths with our hockey stuff. Yes, your bid a due. A payment is due, Eric. A due. It's AD, I think IEU, and it's a French word. So Yannick, wherever you're at, please correct Eric immediately. So it's, I don't know, the pricing on a lot of the stuff is just puzzling. That you look at it, you're thinking, hey, I'm getting a deal on this. Vinny said it's either you use Gixxon or use some sniping tool. And you're just like, well, what the fuck? I just bid $30 on something that I shouldn't have even bid $30 on, and somebody outbid me on it. How does that work? Or you think you've got a strong bid, and you get just lambasted. Like there's I showed him a Frank Thomas I looked at too. The 96 Ultra, I think it's the hitting machines, the gold medallion. So again, 1 in 288. That motherfucker went for over $200. For me, that's like a $50 to $75 card at tops, because I'm like, you can't even center the gold medallion on there correctly. It's up in the top right corner instead of in between the wheel, where again, that would make sense aesthetically. So you just see some of that stuff, and the Gretzky, those were a 1 per box, but again, it was either tops Canadian or tops American, depending where it was distributed. And that thing goes for like $185.
The story on those homegrown is I think it's 1 through 20, then it was in series 1, 21 through 40, we're in series 2. I didn't push your top button. And what it is they put series 1 and series 2.
Okay.
So the series 2 guys are more rare. Lemieux in series 2. And I think Gretzky's in series 1. He's number 20. And he's more prevalent than Mario is in that set. And I've taken some of those down for 50 cents a piece. Other times I put bids in them and they go to the moon. But I saw one Lemieux one time. There was no picture. It was Canadian ice guys out of Canada. There was no picture. And I couldn't pull the trigger. And it was $65. Looking back, I should have shot my shot, and if it looked like that mirror red, there it was. But that's one I keep my eye peeled for, because I know it's. And when I can get a box of that, Series 2, they go for between $100 and $150. They're not cheap. Mark Messier is on the box.
No, it's still a wonky world, and I don't know if people are reverting back to just like the players they grew up with, and sort of like pushing aside some of the new stuff, and like, you know what, I'm gonna go back and look.
It's also income tax time, so tax return time. Always
True.
a possibility. Always a potential. Have a good one, Baz.
Take care, Baz.
But yeah, that could be a part of it. I don't think that's the bulk of it, but you know, it's hard to pinpoint, because people come and go in this hobby day in and day out. Sometimes come in the morning and leave in the evening.
Yeah.
You know, it's that fluid when it comes to the card space, it seems. Whether you be in it for the money, whether you be in it for collecting, whatever it may be. But anytime you add the potential of a monetary influx and being income tax return time, there's always that possibility too. It'll be interesting to see come May what some of that stuff will look like, if it seems to kind of normalize, or kind of, I'll use the term normalize, based on what we could deem as normal for this year. Because this so far this year, it's been, even from my perspective, it's been all over the place. I mean, somebody paying the the I want it now tax on a downtown, $500. It's like and Vinny and I were talking about this specifically too. It's like, so downtowns are a case hit.
Mm-hmm.
They're also in retail,
Mm-hmm.
not just in hobby. They're also in retail, which means they're probably that means they should also be in the retail holiday box, which I just cracks me up in the fucking middle of March, and they have a holiday box for Donruss. Goes to tell you when that should have been released potentially. But it's a case hit. I was telling Vinny 20 or 25 cards potentially in the set is a guess. I haven't bothered to go look at the checklist. Maybe there's only 15. I don't know, but I would think, 15 to 25 subjects that Donruss being a staple. I don't want to call it flagship for Panini, but it could be considered as such if somebody wanted to label it as such. So it's printed to the freaking moon, which means you're looking at stated print run of at least 25 of each subject, depending on the number of players in the set. So with that thinking in mind, why would you even think $500? It's not serial numbered. It's not a parallel. It's not a 1-on-1. What was that person thinking?
It's not an auto patch.
I just, and there's been others that have sold. I think a total of 4 have sold to date. The $500, which was the first one listed, one sold for I think like 270 something. Another one sold for 270 something, and one sold for I think 260 something. And I'm throwing it out there as a rough estimate. I could go back in my watched items that are ended, and I could tell you exactly. But you can see the substantial drop off. And I think there's 2 or 3 listed now. One's at $225, one's at $199.99. And I don't remember what the other one is. But there's no bids. So you see it just like dropping like a stone. Because if anybody took the time and thought about shit, case hit for a mass-produced product on a set of 15 to 25 subjects potentially. Like I said, these are all estimations. I probably need to go look it up and see how many are actually in the set. But stated print run, you're at the low end, 25 per subject. Higher end, 50 or more. But you don't know how many are going to end up on eBay anyways. But while we're sitting here talking about this, I'm going to actually go see how many subjects there are for football. Let's see here.
And good evening.
What's going on, Stu? 2022 Donruss card set. Downtown. Let's see. Oh, there's 30 subjects. So even more than what I thought. But even then, like I said, they're a case hit. They're also randomly inserted in retail.
Yep.
So you're still, like I said, you're still looking at the low end of stated print run would be probably 25.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's 20, times 30, that's only 600 cases. Well, they did more than 600 cases. They probably did like 6,000 cases, if not more. So it's still, and like I said, it's cool that he finally has one. I do want one, and there will be a time in which I own one. But when it's reasonable. It's not there yet. So everybody wants the Santa Claus one anyways.
I don't get that.
That one I could see being short printed a lower number than any of them. I could see that. But your main other players?
I didn't get it with Pro Set, Santa Claus, like the Tops ones that they came out with. I unless somebody's born on Christmas, it's what? You're not named Santa. Maybe somebody's named Klaus or Klaus, somebody over in like Germany or some. I don't know.
Nick.
It seems like a waste of money. I'll never tell people to spend the money on, but that literally seems like a waste of money.
I kind of liked them in the late 80s, early 90s. It was something. It was. I don't want to call it a nostalgia thing, but in the late 80s, we were 10, going into our early teen years, into the early 90s. They weren't extremely difficult to pull, but it was,
the price.
It was a gimmick. It was a gimmick.
The price point is literally night and day.
Well, between then and now, yes, because as far as I'm concerned, you have to be a few fries short of a Happy Meal to be paying $1,000 or more for a Santa Claus downtown. To me, I don't understand the demand.
Nope.
That's what I don't understand. And maybe somebody could explain it to me. Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Then maybe I could get a better understanding behind why somebody would want it. Other than if you're working on a set.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a set collector and your thing is downtowns, then okay, I get that. But aside from that, why? Because if you want Santa Claus cards, go back to 89 Pro Set or 90 Pro Set, 91 Tops, Fleer, those early brands in the late 80s, early 90s, and they're a dime a dozen. Literally. Because they weren't difficult to pull.
No.
I think I still have a few of my Santa cards. Only because, at the time it was kind of a cool thing. Whoa, freaking didn't know Santa was going to be randomly inserted type situation. It was kind of cool. All of us at that age knew Santa wasn't a thing anymore, but kind of cool. Good way to get kids potentially into collecting cards. if it was a marketing campaign type situation.
'Cause I think playoff at 92 or 93 maybe had them too.
I
So
see, and
remember, they're not the chromium finish of a wild card back then, or a finest, but that 93 playoff where it sort of looked a little more fancy. I want to say Santa had one out of there too. Oh
and
yeah,
it's possible. It's possible. I know there's at least 8 to 10 of them out there from the early years that you could easily find. Okay, Joe. Yeah, you know what? I think for some of us that would be okay. But even
yes.
then, it's still not $1,000. I'm sorry.
If it's a dual auto with him and the Jeff Daniels character, I can't even remember. Or the kid with they sold the bird to or gave the bird to.
Pretty bird.
Or Lauren Holly, or then you're talking, okay, let's up the price, but Santa as his own downtown doesn't make sense. I know that's the world we live in card wise, but like I get what you say set wise. If you've done downtowns from day one, if you've done kabooms from day one, and the Easter bunnies in one, Santa Claus, the St. Patrick's Day leprechaun, any other Tom Turkey for Thanksgiving. I get it. I think Steve, you were doing. I wish I had a screenshot there. You were doing like the Macarena.
Well, that's why I ended up saying, "Uh-oh, is that me?" I did not do that. Good try, Dave.
Best of my recollection. But I get where you're pigeonholed. Okay, I've collected 5 years, 6 years, 7 years of these stupid fucking inserts.
I guess I did have my hands up this way.
I know. Oh, I know. If you've collected that many inserts or that long of a run, and you're like sort of now at the mercy of the secondary market to continue to try to put that stuff together, yeah, then you're going to probably have to pay up for stuff that you really don't want to, but at the same time, fuck, Santa Claus, come on.
Is he still going for roughly the same amount that he was from the early ongoing, or is that softened?
I haven't checked
to check. Vinny, our resident Googler, eBayer, can you do a check on downtown Santa Claus? And what's interesting is there was a shit ton. Those got listed like almost immediately once they started coming out. So it'd be interesting to see how many have actually sold too.
500, 500, 550, 468, 499, 445, 3,500.
That had to have been a best offer.
That must have been a like a limited to like.
Thanks for carrying.
I haven't seen any of them that are like the gold. So not like kabooms. Like kabooms have the variations.
Uh-huh.
Downtowns don't have variations.
Yeah,
At least not yet. I'm sure that'll be a thing.
This is a buy it now for 3,500. That's insane. 475, 540, 455, 520, 500, 550, 500, 480, 650, 525.
In what amount of time?
All this month, within the last couple of days. 324, 325.
Okay, so do a filter for highest.
Mhm. I don't know if you can on Sell the Peak. Hold on.
Oh, you're. I thought you were actually going to go do. Thought you were looking on eBay. Sorry.
No. Yeah, seems like that 30. Here's one for 755, 845, 806, 710. This does
So
not look
that's
like the short print.
so that's
800,
around the original time we started seeing them listed. Then.
315 is the date on these.
Okay, so
1,000, 1,250.
you're already at
One-
over 20 in prices that you've thrown out there already.
Yeah.
So
Like the original ones were between 9 and 1,300.
I have no idea what he gave us.
which blows my mind.
I just, if those actually were sold, completed
And-
transactions, it, just to think of what else is out there for that
Excuse me.
same, again, even if it's 2 or 3 cards, for $1,300 or less, there is so much more. I could list you probably 10 million combinations of 1 to 5 cards that I'd want over a Santa Claus fucking downtown card. And all of them would hold more value in 10, 20, 30 years than a Santa Claus downtown card.
I'm right there with you, Dave. I just, like I said, other than a set collector, and that many sold listings, even from a set collecting perspective, that seems awfully high too. That there would be that many people collecting downtown sets.
Well,
I could see the interest. They're cool cards. They're cool cards. They're pretty. But
that many people with that kind of money.
They're getting overdone. That's what we always talk about. You know, it's like, okay, Topps coming out with the hometown advantage or home team advantage or whatever. Same concept. But they came a little late to the party because downtowns are pretty much the top of the line. You've seen that from a price point perspective every year that they come out. So it's like, how long are we going to let these cards be produced before it's like, oh, yay, another iteration of Downtown. Oh, yay, another iteration of Color Blast. Another iteration of Kabooms. It's getting, it's like nobody wants to be creative anymore.
No,
They let it run.
And those Topps ones, those are ones I've thought. I know last year I bid on some. I never was able to win any, but that's one I'd like to go back and visit. And I wouldn't mind putting that set together because you know what? If you're too late to the downtown train, obviously you're not going back and looking up a Brady and a Holmes from 2 years ago, whatever it is. Just because those prices are stupid, it's like, well, let me do baseball. Let me do a Pete Alonso for $30. Let me do a Trout for $50. Let me do a Harper for $50. Let me do an Ohtani for whatever they're going for. Just because that's doable and they're nice. It's not a shitty card. It's not like some bullshit fucking garbage card. It's gonna be something decent. So, I mean, you know, it's tough. It's another tough pull, and it's not like if you can find them in retail, it's not gonna be easy.
Right.
Their odds are fucking stupid. It's a 1 in 12,831 packs. It's okay. I'm not gonna find them 1 or 2 every like 6 hangers, every other blaster. You're not gonna find them.
And like you said, they're nice.
Yeah.
They're nice looking.
I don't have a problem. It's not like you're getting a fucking a baseball downtown of Soto with no logo. You're getting the downtown you can get with a logo. It's not a Panini product. You have to make do with what's out there if you like a specific thing, and you don't want to conform to whatever the current standards are for the licensing issues. So that's one thing I've thought about the last week. Of course, we've said it a million times. Do all your fucking current season sport buying in the off season, which, well, that's not the off season anymore with days to go before the opening day. But you just, with us, you don't think of that. You think of it of maybe once when, like, oh, I stumbled across stuff like, oh man, there's a basketball guy in like June I thought about. Oh, I'll check his stuff. What's going on, Orlando? But that's the thing. It's like I better do what I'm thinking of doing within the next 2 days, or shit might jump 20 to 30% in the next week. Again, if you're looking for Jordan Walkers, people like that, I mean, Corbin Carroll, all these guys that are the rookies, I hope you did what you could do, because it's go time. Some of these guys are now useless twats. They're getting DFA'd, and some of these guys are. Go look up a Jordan Walker right now. Go look up an Anthony Velope or whatever, that shortstop for the Yankees. Go look up their Bowman Chrome draft color autos. I'll wait. You want to talk about sticker shock? That's some shit that'll fucking put you in another continent, another galaxy with fucking prices. It's insane. It's stuff. So, but yeah, prices aren't going down at any point. If they do, it's going to be in the stuff that people start to finally figure out. Man, there's a shit ton of this. Oh, it's a green die cut. Well, what's it numbered to? It's not numbered. Well, why is it going for $60? It shouldn't go for more than like 10. Well, it's a die cut. Mm-hmm. What do you want a metal? I mean, I can pick that up too. What's it numbered to? It's not. Okay, then it shouldn't. People finally sit there and say, that's a nice card. It's a nice card at 10. It's a stupid card at 60. So all that select garbage, it looks great. All the Prism, it looks nice. But again, it's not worth the fucking prices they've been. It's not sustainable. And a lot of the people are starting to finally at least look at it and say, well, this probably isn't the best way to go.
Right.
And change their tune, which, whatever. But stay away from our players. Fucking go.
Anybody want to see some 2006 Topps Chrome rookie autographs before we close out the show with some wrestling talk, courtesy of Dave? Since I said I'd pull them out last week, don't make me big yet. You listened so well, Dave.
It was already happening, so
I was at least going to ask, because most people may not give two shits. But as everybody knows, as I've said it countless times, Topps Chrome, by far my favorite base set ever. 2006 high-touted rookie class, especially from the quarterback perspective. I did really well with my 10 boxes because I couldn't get a case. So I decided to put the whole set together. And I've been sitting on them ever since. So we're going highest number first and going backwards. So these are all in mags in team bags. But some of these guys we talked about and brought up as we were talking about 06. Others, it's like, oh shit, how did we forget this guy? But here we go. Willie Reed. Jason Abant. Omar Jacobs. This is where we also talking about the silver stickers would have done a lot better on these, but whatever. Brian Calhoun. Maurice Stovall.
Notre Dame.
Dominic Hickson.
UAB.
Kellen Clemens.
Oregon.
Our very own Brad Smith.
Mink Street. Formerly.
Anthony Fasano,
I think that's another Notre Dame guy.
who didn't do shit. The Wendy's guy. Dave Thomas. Will Blackman.
Virginia Tech.
Todd Watkins.
What a
All these big name guys, man. Wally Lundy.
Virginia. I remember that.
Leonard Pope.
Miami?
I don't know. Brandon Williams, who was actually supposed to be worth a damn and didn't amount to shit.
Yeah.
The infamous Skylar Green.
One of the rare ones I don't fucking even remember.
Michael Robinson.
Penn State.
Drew Olson.
UCLA.
Travis Wilson.
Oklahoma.
Charlie Whitehurst.
Clemson.
Actually had some playing time.
Yep.
Mike Haas.
Oh, my boy, Oregon State. I loved him. He was great.
Dave getting excited. Demetrius Williams.
That's the Oregon guy. That's Fight on 5-2 showing that off the other day.
Joe Kloppenstein, however you want to say it.
Out of the league in like a year.
Yeah. Reggie McNeil.
Auburn, maybe? No.
Chad Greenway.
Iowa. His daughter. They just won the double A high school Minnesota basketball title. 9th grade. Last year as an 8th grader, she averaged over 30 points a game.
Damn.
So Matt, I think it's Madden, Maddyn Greenway. Obviously her dad, a former NFL player. Her mom, a track star at Iowa. So if you fail with those genes, that's on you. So just for anybody out there for down the road.
Tafaris Jackson.
Oh, T-Jack.
Saw quite a bit of playing time.
Yep.
This guy had some upside. Jerome Harrison.
Washington State.
So these are the names that most people are going to start remembering, though, too. Chad Jackson. Supposed to be the next best thing in New England.
Mm-hmm.
A guy we talked about. Bruce
Brucey
Gronkowski.
We'll have a large stack of his stuff sitting around somewhere.
Mario Williams.
NC State.
Number 1 draft pick. Jarius Norwood. Leon Washington, who wasn't horrible.
No, great kick returner.
Devin Hester, stud.
I was going to say, speaking of great kick returners.
Also not a bad guy. Lindell White.
Yeah, he had a few good years out of USC.
Vernon Davis. Pack pulled. pretty bad. I remember that one. Dumbass Holmes, Santonio Holmes. Sorry, Vinny. MJD,
I'll allow it.
stud.
UCLA.
Greg Jennings, stud. Michael Huff, pretty good. Brandon Marshall, stud for a few years that just fell fucking apart.
Yeah, some of the catches he made.
Sonoris Moss,
Oh,
what a wasted draft pick.
Miami.
AJ Hawk, stud.
Iowa.
Mercedes Lewis had some good years.
Another UCLA guy.
Lawrence Maroney
The Furs.
had some good years. Now we're getting into the meat. D'Angelo Williams,
Subvented.
Joseph Adai, underappreciated as far as I'm concerned. Vince Young, supposed to be the future of my franchise. Jay Cutler, disappointment. Matt Leinart, and then also packed pulled Reggie Bush. So there you go. All 50 2006 Topps Chrome rookie autographs.
Which again, people be like, Reggie Bush, who cares? Vince Young, who cares? Go watch that fucking Rose Bowl game.
Oh, I did. I watched it live.
I did too. I'm just saying, if people that maybe didn't watch it back then, go find it. I think it's the 06 Rose Bowl. Unreal.
Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, it took me 2.5 years, I think, to build the master. I call it the master set. They also had the blue refractor autographs numbered to 50.
Yep.
Didn't even go for it. Didn't even try. But yeah, so one full base set with rookies, one full base set with the star rookie parallel. Do I have any? I don't think I have any sitting here. Oh, yes, actually I do. So 06 had the regular rookie. Here, let me make myself big real quick. So that's Antonio Cromartie. But underneath the Topps Chrome rookie card, I can't remember if it's star or super rookie or whatever. So this was a variation. So I also have a base set with all the star or super rookie variations. I have all the insert sets, and then the refractor set, and then all 50 autos. And that was because they were touting the rookie class of quarterbacks to Marino Elway. And I'm like, it was this full thing was like an investment thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was highly touted, so on and so forth. I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
And since I pulled the Bush, which was the top card in the set, not a problem, Orlando. I'm like, why not? I pulled the biggest guy that saved a shit ton of money from a set perspective. Unfortunately, it didn't really pan out. There's still quality in the autograph set.
Yeah.
There are a lot of scrubs, but that's anytime you put together a rookie set, there's always going to be scrubs. That's just the way that it is. But I actually tried to sell the set when the wife and I were getting married because we needed some cash because the catering bill was going to be more than what it was supposed to. And as you see, I still have it. So, of course, and then there's, I guess, one of these other days, one of these other shows, I'll break out the two patch sets I put together. If anybody cares.
I know
2010. What?
I know the one.
Which one are you thinking?
Certified?
Yep. But I have two. I have both sets. So I have the freshman fabric jumbo patch set, and then I have just the regular mirror gold patch set. And that one, I showed the mirror gold patch set to Vinny one night just when we were hanging out. That it is one of only 5 sets that could be completed because the Beanie Wells is numbered to 5. But it is done. I still remember getting that card. I still remember when I was finally able to say I was done. That Beanie Wells cost me $90, but I didn't give a shit. I snagged all the short prints early. The Brady was gifted to me from Maya Depp when we were down in Houston. I think there's 5 or 6 short prints. I think. But the lowest print run was, of course, the Beanie Wells numbered to 5. And I saw it listed, and it's a logo patch. It's part of the eagle head and the beak. Mm-hmm. So it's a cool ass patch. But a lot of people tried to put it together, and they did a hard pass after so long and never seen the Beanie Wells. So a few of the ones that I ended up with, I acquired through other people giving up on the set. So I purchased a lot of them, a lot, L-O-T, Biduki, courtesy of Dave Puff Bear, his nomenclature, just to get quite a few of them in hand. Because I think the set is 50 cards. I think. Don't hold me to that, but I think it's 50. But then the rookie jumbo patch set, that's numbered to 50 or 25. I'll have to look. I can't remember. Because I think the regular mirror patch set is numbered to 50, the bulk of it, and maybe the rookies are numbered to 25. I think.
And then Panini was notorious for that.
Yeah, and the rookie jumbo patch set has some really nice patches in it. Really nice patches. I mean, the mirror gold patch set has some nice patches too, but much smaller of a window. So there's only so much you can stuff in a smaller window. when I go in, I'll double check the serial numbering real quick on each one, and then maybe in a future show I'll show the jumbo patch set off because the regular one would take a little bit because it's in 3 one touch or mag boxes because those are all in mags too. And that many mags, that was a pretty penny putting all those in fucking mags.
But yeah, if you're gonna do that, you want it to be fucking uniform too. That's the thing. It's
Yep.
because you know if you're not, it's gonna fucking eat at you.
Yep. Well, and the nice thing about it is though is using because I just go in and buy a whole box of 35s.
Yep.
Or 130 points, and I kept the boxes too. So it was easy just to put them all in mags and everything else, and then reuse the boxes because then they're not taking up room in another super shoe or 3-row box, 4-row box. They're just all separated by themselves. Yes, Ty, I went through all 50 rookie autographs from the 06 Topps Chrome set while Dave was rattling off colleges.
That was back again, the Beckett message board days. So I mean, I can go back and fucking tell you some of the people I'm still in contact with who they collected. There's one guy down in Milwaukee who collected Brian Calhoun. So Wisconsin Badger. Even I went to the Lions. I mean, I like Gradkowski, the guy I stayed with in Chicago for 08, 09 before he went to Cleveland. He was a huge bowler collector, Kyle Bowler. And he also picked up a lot of Drew Olson. I mean, he's just like, okay, if there's no bowler available, I'll just pick up this guy. Because I think they drafted him. So, yeah, you just look at those guys. Again, then you had the guy, there's a guy I met up with just by happen chance when I put on Facebook when we went to the GNR concert in 2017 that I'm going there. We're walking up outside the US Bank, getting ready to go in line for like check-in or whatever. He's like, I just hear somebody say Amish Dave, and I'm like, now what is this? And again, I'm not sitting there. I don't look through their pictures. A lot of people, if I haven't met them or they're not on YouTube, I don't sit there and look. And so he's just like, Eric. And I'm like, Eric. I'm like, Freedom Cardboard from Beckett. I'm like, who'd you collect? Chad Greenway. Select, the Iowa guy. Slette. And yeah. And then I can remember him too, and I'll fucking forget again. There was another one when I took the pictures. He started messaging me. He's like, and he's one from Owatonna. He was always in Chad's room. I want to say he was a Raiders guy. It wasn't Balsar. But it was another guy. Like blog / did a little YouTube. Not a ton. But he was there, so I met him. Got a picture with him, and it's just like some of the stuff we've talked about before. It's like you make those relationships, and it's places you might not necessarily be like, oh man, we're going here, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. It's like, no, you're just going to a concert, and then you see all these card guys there, and you haven't talked to them like, hey, let's meet up. It's just going to the concert. And you stumble across them, and so
Yeah, so the rookies are to 25. The regular Marigold patch set is to 50, except for
Okay.
the short prints. So we'll give you 10 minutes. 10 minutes to talk WrestleMania.
First up, I want to admit Mark Henry's my favorite wrestler.
You're an asshole.
So no, he signs autographs for the kids. Maybe not the adults, but the kids for sure.
Well, like
Have
I said,
you-
I went up to him because I didn't think we were going to get Dwayne
Rock.
Johnson to sign. And I wish I could have gotten it on video. The look that he freaking gave him was like priceless. Priceless. And he's like, you know what? Here, I'll sign it. And he just freaking kind of looked at him. And I could only imagine what the conversation was as they freaking like started walking through the hotel lobby.
These guys aren't selling this in a fucking little notepad because that's all they've got. It's not a fucking 8x10. It's not a poster. It's not on a
No.
figure. It's a fucking little, like, hey, I gotta have this in my car just in case I need to. Oh, I gotta get chips, milk, egg, whatever. It's a little fucking notebook.
Yeah, and what spawned it is seeing Jim Ross in his car on the highway as we're leaving, and we followed him. And we're like, okay, if Jim Ross is going to be staying here, that means most likely some of the guys are going to be staying here.
By default.
So we went to the freaking 7-Eleven around the corner and was looking for something to be able to get autographs on it in case we saw anybody. We hung out in the parking lot. We didn't sit in the lobby. It's not like we were stalking these guys.
Yep.
Big Show walked behind the truck, which is why we saw him. So we got his. And then, we saw a Lincoln, a black Lincoln, come into the parking lot and pull up to the front. And we're like, nicer car, could be, maybe. So we jumped out of the truck and we're looking. And we saw freaking Mark Henry get out because he was driving.
Okay.
Dwayne was in the passenger seat. He's getting out, going to the back of and as we're walking up, it's like we were awestruck because there's the fucking Rock too, Mark Henry. We don't even freaking address him. Hey, Mark, great show. Can we get your autograph? And like I said, I wish we could have gotten it on video because you could tell that Dwayne was quite agitated and surprised that maybe because we didn't go after him. I don't know, but it was like he's the megastar. He's not gonna fucking sign an autograph for these two freaking
jabronis,
20-year-old guys. So absolutely, we're gonna go for the guy that we thought that would sign it.
An obtainable auto.
And then maybe ask him, hey, Rock, any chance any chance we get an autograph from you too? Never once did we think that Mark Henry would fucking blow us off, and Rock would be like, you know what? Here, let me have it. I'll sign it. I don't know. It still blows my mind to this day because that facial expression it's like you could honestly tell he was almost pissed off at him.
And he should be. Again, you're not fucking running up there with
no.
Like I said, the folder of fucking 8x10s. Hey, can you sign these for me so I can turn around and sell them or do something with them? Again, you look, and I'm sure, not to throw you guys under the bus, it wasn't like again, you had your cavalcade of merch.
Nope.
When you've got the fucking small notebook and probably a ballpoint pen, a plain Bic pen or something, or a
Yep.
Sharpie.
No,
It's not-
ballpoint pen, man. And for the life of me, for some of the newer guys. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. I was like, I knew I had it out here. So for some of you newer guys who haven't seen this, this is the notebook, and it's even got the price tag on it from the 7-Eleven. There's Big Show. And like I said, anybody could have signed that. But I wasn't by myself. There's The Rock. Nobody else. We didn't see anybody else. We didn't go try and track down Jim Ross and get his autograph. We did go into the hotel making sure it was him. And we're like, how's it going, Jim? And he turned around and he's like, hey, guys. I don't even know who the hell he was with. But Jim wasn't driving. So I don't know if it was his own like personal assistant or whatever. But it just, that was a cool experience. We had gone to the show. And Big Show was cool as shit. Mark Henry, not so much. Anyways, so now you have 3 minutes to talk WrestleMania. Okay, I'll give you longer than that, Dave.
So, have you followed anything at all over any period of time? Okay. So I'll go through the 4 people I know going to the Hall of Fame, which
other than Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble, which we all kind of knew was going to happen. Now I knew that based on past conversation. So knowing that he's going to be the main event at WrestleMania, well, supposed to be.
No. Possibility that so that's been building up. I'll give you the Hall of Famers, then I'll go through like the card as it stands before we went on the air. Hall of Famers, celebrity Andy Kaufman. Obviously never did, I don't think, anything with the WWF, but he was in Memphis with Lawler, that angle down there. Rey Mysterio, Stacy Keibler, and the Great Muta. Stacy Keibler, also known as Miss Hancock in WCW. Great Muta, never wrestling in WWF or WWE. Always interesting when those guys go in. Yeah, and this was, I saw this today too, where Virgil, when they had like, well, the AEW was starting to sign everybody, like, so-and-so is all elite. They'd have that thing. It's like Virgil take the class of 2023. And Virgil, you're classless. I mean, you're trying to sell your auto for like 40, 50 bucks. And that's not worth 4 or 5. So, yeah. He's a national treasure. Not the card, just a person of national esteem.
So are those going to be the only inductees this year then?
And that, I'm guessing there's going to be more, because there's usually some like the older folks, like from the I'm trying to think, not the founding type, that's not a founding member or whatever, but
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like the 1880s through like 1950s, like just before Thez and all them really exploded. So I'm sure there'll be like there'll probably be another tag team or something. I don't know if Demolition will get in. There's that lawsuit out there. I don't think that's ever been settled, and I know Bill Eadie acts as part of that, so that's something that I think hangs over. Owen Hart will never be in because Martha will never allow it. And then I watched that Dark Side of the Ring with Owen Hart. Doesn't sound like his kids want anything to do with WWF either. So I don't see that ever happening. Plus, a lot of other guys that are dead that you don't want to always shine the light. This is something that I won't say Vince directly mandated, but again, at that time, you didn't take the juice. You didn't get on TV here, get the push. You didn't get the big paydays. So it'd have been fun to have like Zeus go in there many moons ago, but he's dead now too. So as like a celebrity because he's a big influence that summer of like '89 with No Holds Barred. But I digress. Those four are the four I know that I've seen, minus Virgil and his trying to shoehorn his way in. So for the like the confirmed card right now, Brock Lesnar versus Omos. Omos is like a 7'4" dude, like the size of a fucking skyscraper.
Yeah, I've seen some of the promos at least with Brock Lesnar looking up at the guy.
He's a big motherfucker. Austin Theory, he's got the U.S. title. He's facing everybody's favorite face over the 2004-5 to 2017-18, Mr. John Cena. He'll be wrestling for the title, the U.S. title, though. Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's title holder, is defending against Asuka, who, since she's come back, I think that's Belair finally drops it. But I mean, that should be a fairly good match. I mean, Belair's put on some. If she's been against competent opponents, her and look, I can't think of Seth Rollins' fucking wife's name because I wrote down Bailey and it's not. And the next
The man.
Becky Lynch. Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch matches have been great. Again, this is somebody that's I don't need to always see women's wrestling and doesn't need to be pushed as hard as the men's wrestling. They've put on some insane matches. So that should be
Didn't Becky, when she found out she was pregnant, didn't she give the title to Asuka?
Because that was like COVID WrestleMania, I think, somewhere in or COVID WrestleMania or Raw after WrestleMania. Because she's like, well, it's like you're the title holder now. Well, what? Yeah, I'm eating for two now or some shit like that. And she's just like legit like
excited. Yeah. I ended up. I think that's one of the shows that I actually decided to watch for whatever reason. And I remember, like in the middle of the ring, the belt was like in a box or some shit.
Oh, that's.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the podium or whatever, and like here it is, and.
But I mean, there was more to the story because at that time, Becky Lynch also found out she was pregnant. So it's like, and you could tell that was genuine, like, excitement, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, wow, congratulations. I mean, that was true, genuine. That was not acting. I mean, because you could tell.
Yeah. So that was that'll be a good match. There's this one could be a clunker. Again, 10 years ago, two of these people probably would have been decent. Now, Trish Stratus, Lita, Becky Lynch facing Damage Control, which is Bailey, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. I like that group. It gets tiresome with the older wrestlers constantly coming back and having to fill that void just because you're trying to sell the pay-per-views because you don't I mean you don't have the star power you did 20 years ago, 25 years ago. You don't have the crossover people, no matter what you do on Instagram or TikToks or Twitter or YouTube, Facebook, whatever you do it, whatever platform it's on, you're just not getting it over. Yeah, it's going to be like a 8-10 minute match. Lita will do some of her like Jeff Hardy type moves, and who knows what else, like a splash or a Bronco Buster and Stratisfaction, and that'll be it. And Hell in a Cell match. Finn Balor against Edge, which I'm hoping this is a blow off that this fucking thing can finally end, because I think, what did they say? Was it last June that this started, when Edge got kicked out of his little group there? And again, I don't even remember at this point what the group is called. It's got the cool entrance because it's got like the swirling sky and the impending doom. But like Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Punishment Martinez, and he's something else in WWF, are in the group, and I'm hoping Edge wins just to get rid of the fucking feud, because that's all it's been for 10 months, and it's not like it's been something where, what a insane feud, what a great run it's been. It's just been like a mishmash of all these parts that nobody's really excited about. There's 2 showcase matches, which I think they've thrown together to plop people together. So there's a tag match. They're both tag matches. It's 4 tag teams. Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits, who have the little red solo cups. Remind people, I guess, of Crime Time. Viking Raiders, who were in Ring of Honor back in the day, and Alpha Academy, which is Chad Gable and Otis. Otis being from Superior, Wisconsin. So, I mean, but he's built like a fucking keg. I mean, he's about 5'3", 320, but I mean, he's bigger wide than he is tall. So
I at least know who that is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's a very, very recognizable person. I mean, once you see him, it's like, I will remember him because he's shorter than Bundy and probably a little wider than Bundy. So if you know King Kong Bundy, just go about 4 inches shorter. Crew cut too. So that'll be hopefully like a 6-minute match. I'm sure you'll get I don't remember which one for the Profits is like the one they try to push. I don't think it's Dawkins, it's the other one, the skinnier dude. And then Ricochet, I'm sure you'll get some sort of high-flying maneuvers from them to like wow the crowd. The women's one, I think there's one spot available, so I'm guessing SmackDown. Might be some sort of match on SmackDown. And they're saying Carmella. Oh, and who just came in? Green. Why can't I think of her first name? She just came in the Royal Rumble. I want to say her husband, Matt Cardona, formerly Zack Ryder. Chelsea Green. So they might pair them up just to have them on the show, but it's right now, as of prior to the show tonight, it's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi Blackheart, who they dropped the Blackheart, and then Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. So hopefully they win, because I like them. They're legit. They're badasses, and I'd rather see them win than these fucking other people. Natalya needs to retire.
Agreed.
Sure.
I mean, but at the same time, you put her in a main event, does anybody fucking think she's going to win? Anyone. Ever. Oh, she's one of the last 3. She'll be the next one eliminated. Then it doesn't matter. She's not going to win the title.
Yeah, she never got the push that you would have thought she would have gotten, just
No.
because of the bloodline.
No, and if she ever, I want to say she got the title a few times, but she never got it.
She did
for like a period of time.
Yeah, it was never substantial long time like others.
No, it's you're sitting there and it's okay. You get it off Charlotte because Charlotte's doing something else, but Charlotte doesn't want to lose to the hell's her name? She just went over to Japan. Snoop's niece or whatever. Now she's Mercedes Monet. It's fucking Christ. I can picture because she came up with Becky, she came up with Bailey, and she's like the darker skinned one. She was with Naomi, and I can't remember her name. But it's like you don't want to lose to her directly, so you lose to Natalia for a month, then you lose to her. It's sort of your placeholder. That's it.
Sasha
Banks. So that's what happens when you watch too much wrestling. Everything gets jumbled up there. Most of the time, it's pretty good, but especially when it's people you really don't
give a shit about.
Dominic versus Rey Mysterio, so that I'm hoping is a physical battle where you can play off some emotion because Rey's pretty good with that. Appreciation, Carlos. Appreciation. Dominic, I hope wins just because he needs it a lot more. Judgment Day, that's the group with Balor and Rhea Ripley and Dominic. And Punishment Martinez, who I can't think of the fucking what his WWF name is. He needs it a lot more than Ray. Like literally, if he could take like Ray's WWF Hall of Fame ring and then hold that up after the match, just to get the heat. Nobody's gonna like him anyway because he's a fucking out of shape twat. But just to get him some more heat. SmackDown Women title. Rhea Ripley challenging Charlotte Flair, who has the title. Ripley, of course, won the Women's Royal Rumble with Damian Priest. Again, Punishment Martinez, I followed him. I was friends with him on Facebook when he's in Ring of Honor, Maryland Championship Wrestling. I followed him like Sammy Guevara when he's down in Houston. Get to the big leagues. Sammy's still got the same name in AEW. Can't have that in WWF. You can't have Punishment Martinez. That doesn't sound like a menacing name. Damian Priest does. Okay. Spot on, Kevin Dunn and fucking Vinny Mac, another gem. And he comes out and does like the Archer thing and into the video board and there's flames in the video board. What a treat. See, and I haven't done much. It's on the Hulu, but I'll watch a little clip if like USA has something on YouTube or Fox has like a SmackDown clip, which we're getting to the ones where I'm actually watching clips of the stuff because it's interesting to me. I figure Ripley's going to beat Flair just because again her star is shining too bright right now. It's burning too hot. She needs that belt, and I think that'll take place. The top 3 ones I'm looking forward to: Mr. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Well, there's some stuff. We'll get to this. We'll get to the three ones I'm looking forward to, and the sort of stuff that isn't listed or mentioned yet. So I think there's some interesting things there too. I know DC's been texting me about his favorite wrestler, and which is Bray Wyatt. So he's not on the card, but we'll get to that. Rollins, Logan Paul. I hope that's about a 15-minute match, 20 minutes, because Paul's athleticism is ridiculous. Again, for somebody who just comes in there and bops around, he fucking can go. And the heat he can get. He's a big fan of Bray, and I like Bray Wyatt. I don't like Bray Wyatt and his mind, and his physique is like, I was gonna say, it's heavy on the husky, heavy on husky. Logan Paul can get heat, especially if he's got his brother and some of those cronies. I think that'll be fun, especially being in LA. That's his fucking backyard. You can really bring out Lamborghinis, bring out just fucking pomp and circumstance where it just pisses people off. Chinchillas, fucking stupid sunshades. I mean, really, you can do this to the guild and fucking have people just hating. This was like the 80s, you'd have people fucking knocking down the barriers to try to get to him before he even goes in the ring. I think Rollins wins. He needs a win. He seems to rarely win on pay-per-views. And at some point, people are going to start figuring that out. Like, man, he doesn't ever get a victory. So this would be a nice win for him. I'd say the two main matches that most people are concerned about: tag titles, Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I can't see the Bloodline losing everything, but I can also see them losing everything. It wouldn't make sense for them to hold all this shit for so long. I'd say Usos win and maybe Extreme Rules they lose, because you can have just like a lights out, a no holds barred, a non-sanctioned match, and it could be interesting. Yes, some sort of trading card will be around the neck. Maybe Ken Golden will come out riding a horse with him. How fucking amazing would that be? And what's his name just moved to LA, so maybe he's on the horse with Kenny. But it's got to be a big horse if Team Schmedium's on there. That's got to be fucking like a Clydesdale.
I was just about to say a Clydesdale.
Gotta be one of the Budweiser Clydesdales, but you paint it with like the prime colors for the fucking Logan Paul's juice or whatever, and shoot those fuckers in the stadium. I'd say Vince McMahon, but no. Special guest booker, Mr. Vince Russo. He comes in with Mr. Ed Ferrara, and all hell breaks loose. So, and like the backyard breaks guys are out there too. I mean, it could be a show of a shit proportion. Heavy on the shit, so it's got to be a shovels match. You got to fucking dig out of that. I'd almost old school wrestling would see like Steen turning on Sammy, because it's like, well, fuck, you did so much to me up to that point, and now all of a sudden you want to be my friend again. It's like, yeah, we're in it to like for a common goal, but at that time you fucking waffled me, beat the piss out of me, did this, and I could see Steen just, and they build up to like a blow off at SummerSlam, but I don't think that's going to happen. Like I said, I think Usos retain with the possibility of like whatever the next pay-per-view used to be. Extreme Rules, I don't know what it is now. Them winning the titles. Reigns and Cody. If that happened, that would be great. And then Cody had like a 30-minute promo. And that's the thing there. Kevin Owens as a face just doesn't make sense either. It is such a quality villain, a quality heel, where he can literally make people hate him by just walking down to the ring with that fucking look that I probably have on my face every day when I go to work. Or I see one of my valued coworkers standing in the aisle, either looking at their cell phone or just staring at the shelf. I'd say they're looking to do something, but they're just blankly staring. So my look of disdain and disgust is like the Kevin Owens resting face. So I'll never get him and the Miz being pushed as faces. No, that does not happen. But Reigns Cody, I think that's going to be one of the better storytelling matches that we've seen in a long time. The way Reigns has morphed into a complete heel, and the way Cody over the past 5 years has morphed into something that he wasn't even a quarter of when he was dashing Cody Rhodes and trying to find his way prior to him leaving WWF. I think we're going to see one of the best storytelling WrestleMania matches since, like, Bryan Danielson, and was it Triple H, I think? Or Bryan Danielson and trying to think, with Randy Orton when he won the title down in New Orleans. He might have done the first one. It was like a 3-way to get to that title match. Just the storytelling, the actual emotion behind it, and the deep story of, okay, Dusty, all that backstory. Well, you called Virgil, DiBiase's quote-unquote bodyguard, basically treated as a slave. You called him Virgil because Dusty Rhodes' first name is Virgil. That's why that was done. It was always a rib between them, or a shot, and it's like, you bring Dusty up there. He's a how many time NWA champion? 5, 6, 7-time NWA champion. And you give him this common man thing, this gimmick where it's like, okay, now you're doing promos, you're taking out the trash, you're plumbing, you're doing all of, you're like shoveling horse shit. You're doing all this stuff, and this is your NWA champion. But he always did it with a smile and just knowing that the paycheck was there, doing it for the family. So it'd be nice to see Cody win, which I think will happen, because it's been fucking. I think Carlos has mentioned as well. It's in his contract. At some point within X amount of time, I think, to win the title. Reigns has been going pretty much since he had the leukemia and he came back. He's pretty much been going nonstop since then. Well, Virgil was just the best. I mean, everything, every major gimmick, every major storyline Virgil was involved with. I mean, he was with Roddy Piper. Him and Piper were together. That's Hall of Fame worthy on its own merit. But it's Cody's got to win it. I'm sure I'll mark out like a fucking 12-year-old because that's my guy. it'll be interesting to see who's there though to celebrate. Will Dustin be there? Again, he's still with AEW. You think that Tony Khan would say, yeah, you go there and even though they're half brothers, celebrate with them. So that gives Roman Reigns time to take off, or maybe he does like a return at whatever the next pay-per-view is, and then he's gone for whatever 4 to 6 months. That would be good because again, there's a ton of them. There's a ton to that bloodline story, which has been universally given props. Like, this is the best thing the fucking WWF has done in eons. Where again, it some of them might not like make total sense at the time, but it leads to back to the highway. You're back on the highway and say, okay, now that makes sense. So I see Reigns taking time off just to recharge. He hasn't fucking, like I said, hasn't done any like legit time off. So again, he's over what, like 920 days, 930 days as a champ. That's a fucking eternity in modern time. I'm no too longer than him. I don't know what Hogan did, but Hogan didn't have half the schedule as Reigns has had. Backlund, and of course Bruno for like whatever 9 years back in the 60s up until the early 70s before Ivan Koloff beat him. But it's just like Reigns' character's fucking developed so much. From just like the guy pumping his fist and hooah, and like Superman punch spear. I mean, his facial reactions have been spot on. Sami Zayn has been spot on. Yeah, Morales as well. But yeah, modern day, it's not even in the hemisphere of that type of length because people get so fucking bored with what's going on and I want a new champ. No, that championship has to be prestigious. This is why now Cody can say this and be like, well, yeah, you can put a number to Roman's literally no pun intended reign. Like, well, he's been champ for 2.5, 3 years. That's a fucking long time. This isn't like, oh, Orton had it last month and lost to Triple H this month. Oh, Michael super kicks Triple H. Now that's 3 months in a row we got a title change. No, the merry-go-round, I don't care if it's your prop or not. It's when you have it on somebody for a while, it makes it prestigious. So I'm hoping Cody wins. I'm thinking he's going to win. If he doesn't, I'd be fairly shocked. So, and the folks that I haven't mentioned, there's no Lashley because he was supposed to probably work with Mr. Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt is a lunatic when it comes to storylines and things he wants to do in the story. Brock Lesnar said, I'm going to pull a Drake meme and say, no, thank you. He's just like, nope, that's not today. Lashley's like pretty much in the same boat, like, I'm good. So I don't know what Bray Wyatt's going to do. Him coming back looks like an absolute flop, especially after that, I think at the Rumble, what do you have, the lights out match or whatever with LA Knight? That literally was like, oh, it's on. I'm going to go to the bathroom, come back down. Have they started yet? And then we're into an interview and then the promo for the next fight. I'm like, well, I wasn't up there that long. What happened? It's like, come on now. LA Knight not being in there, Nakamura, AJ Styles. Rick Boogs. I wish there was like a Money in the Bank match at the beginning, and Rick Boogs won it. Cody wins the title. Rick Boogs comes out, cashes in, wins the title, and WrestleMania goes off the air because he's the guy that has played guitar with Nakamura when Nakamura comes out and does his entrance. But yeah, I don't know if they'll have like a battle royal like the Andre the Giant thing they've had in the past just to get people in there, but that's usually a 5-6 minute thing that they just start chucking people out. Other than that, I don't know. You'll have some more Hollywood stuff, guys, especially being in Hollywood, on LA this year. So 2 nights, it does get long, like very long. Because again, you got to commit yourself basically to 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours each night, because you got a pre-show and that one down in Dallas. I think the first match was at like 4:30, and then there's stuff that was ending at like 11. I'm like, oh my god, I love my wrestling, I really, really do. But 7 hours, if it's good wrestling, I can do it. WWF hasn't put on good wrestling. Miz, another one that isn't in anything. So, especially in LA, I don't know if he's gonna do some like the promo work. He can do the star. I'm a movie star, all that bullshit, and somebody will probably come out and interact with him there. But I look through just a little bit of the other activities up there. WrestleMania host, what a treat. But there's a ton of fucking shit going on. So just know if you're out in LA, somehow by hook or by crook, you have fucking unfortunately stumbled across this. And you're listening to me ramble now in archive form. And let's say it's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Know that at about that time, the wrestling starts for the weekend. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 shows tomorrow. I didn't even get through Thursday, the full Thursday. Just writing them all down. And 11 a.m. there's 2, 2 p.m. there's 2, 3 p.m. there's 2, and one starts at 4 p.m. And again, these are with like, yeah, it's you just need it the one day. You need Hall of Fame Friday, NXT Saturday, Mania Sunday. I mean, when are you going to start doing Mania 3 days? People are going to just, it's like, no. You can only do so much, especially with WWF when there's, you can't, especially in WWF, you can't sit there and think, well, I'm going to get everybody to watch our product and our product at home. It doesn't work that way. People go to this for, like Jeff Cobb, they got the GCW, Josh Barnett. He's got his show, which has Ibushi, John Moxley, Jeff Cobb, Timothy Thatcher, and British Bulldogs kid is fighting on that too. So I mean, there's and that's just the few I went through. I mean, you'll have AEW running shows, you'll have Ring of Honor with a pay-per-view, you'll have Pro Wrestling Guerrilla probably with something because they're based out in California. You'll have pretty much any wrestling you want to see, garbage, whatever type wrestling you want. There's midgets. There's a midget mania out there with midget wrestlers. I mean, anything you want to see, barbed wire, death matches, fucking catch as catch can, Steven Regal stuff. You will be able to watch any of that, whatever amount you want, starting tomorrow through Monday, because you'll have Monday Night Raw probably at the Forum or whatever the Lakers play, whatever it's called now. That will be between the two games of the women's Final Four, which is in Dallas this weekend. So that will be. We'll bring it over this way. So
What?
and your team, your local college, won the first game of the NIT semifinals. So they're in the NIT finals.
Okay.
The Mean Green.
I wouldn't call them my team, but they're up the
I
road.
said you're local. Local.
Up the road. 12 miles.
I was gonna say the
That
most local for you then. I mean it's so
Well, TWU is up that way too. So
Division 1.
I'm just giving you specifics. TWU, and then it's TWU is actually the bulk of it's right off of 380, which is where I live. UNT is off of 35, but still in the vicinity.
So yeah,
But
a
I
good
think-
weekend to be a wrestling fan. That's for sure.
Too bad I'm not really a wrestling fan anymore.
I think if you watch some of it, you'd at least enjoy the aspects of some of it.
Honestly, I think like when the storylines just were lacking in a lot of sense, that was the whole enjoyment of the Attitude Era, was a lot of the storylines and the rivalries.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, there are some things that if you let play out for too long, it just becomes stupid.
Yep.
And I don't know, would I still go to a live show if I wasn't paying for the ticket? Absolutely, I would still go, because going to a live show, it's still fun. But if I'm not going to go buy the tickets, if somebody said, "Hey, I got an extra ticket, you want to go?" Sure. Because it is, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to go to a live show. But to pay out of my own pocket, I'd rather go to a concert. That's just me. But we've actually passed the 2.5 hour mark. I gave you 10 minutes to talk wrestling and you went, 40 minutes. What the hell? How dare you, Dave? What else is new? Dave is on brand. Dave is on brand. It's okay. So, and AEW doesn't pique my interest. It was different back in the day when it was WWE and WCW. Yes, I mean, superstars flip-flopped from both franchises multiple times, but it was different then. For me, I haven't sat there and watched an AEW because it's one of those, it's like I've always been a WWE guy. I enjoy WCW mostly because of Sting. So I would watch both. But like there's nobody in AEW that piques my interest. And part of a lot of, I mean, Daniel Bryan, of course, I know that's not what he goes by over there, but I enjoyed him for a time. But, you know, I think they overplayed him kind of a bit in WWE. It doesn't seem like they do the same in AEW, but for the most part, I could give two shits about anybody in AEW. John Moxley, woohoo! I was never a fan of the Shield in the first place. I liked Roman, but a lot of it, it's just a lot of the shit. Just like I don't know, it's ruined its luster for me, and it's a personal thing. It's not that I would enjoy it if I started watching it again. I would just rather spend my time watching something else. So I have nothing against AEW. I know you like it. I know Carlos likes it. But I don't want to say I've grown out of it. It's just not the same anymore. Because I took a long time off in between watching it religiously to where I started watching it again for a time, and it turned me off. So, and I never gone back to it. But there was a time I really enjoyed the shit out of it. And my friend and I, anytime they were in town, we were there. It didn't fucking matter. We were there. SmackDown, Raw, house show, anything that was in town, we were there. But anyways, coming up on now 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Well, you go through three different like phases. You go through 80s. So you go through the gimmicks, like actual. Well, this guy's a Elvis guy. Here's Greg the Hammer Valentine. Here's fucking Coco Beware. He's got a bird. Dino Bravo. He's selling cigarettes. It's fucking Brooklyn Brawler. Looks like he's fucking trying to take your
money.
Tires. Then the Repo Man starts taking your tires. You have all these like characters. Then you get to like, oh, now it's real. Now it's fucking like Kai Tide cutting off fucking Val Venus's cock, and Shawn Michaels like supposedly being naked and crotch chopping and showing his ass and all that shit. And then you go to John Cena. Now we have to be PG, and now you come back and you're sort of like some healthy balance of like in between attitude and after attitude era. You just when you're used to something and you've been sucked in by something, then it's not the same, and you don't have the same, even the same top like five characters, five wrestlers or type personalities that like draw you in. It's like okay, yeah, I'm MJF, but then who's fighting or feuding with MJF that can actually fucking retort with him? Like, well, really nobody unless it's CM Punk, and CM Punk's not there right now. So it's like, why? Bryan Danielson ain't gonna. Fuck's he gonna say back to him? That he's a vegan? I mean, that his wife was a former WWF diva that sucked? I mean, I don't know. I mean, what MJF can go off in fucking 80 directions, and there's just not anybody that's a local contemporary. So, yeah, I've always said, just like Carlos sends you that link, that bloodline thing, it's easy to get sucked into.
No, he sent it to me, and I plan on watching it because
It is fucking. It is good. That's like I said. That's been their best storyline. I can't even. I'd almost venture back to like the Mega Powers. Like Liz getting hurt on Saturday night's main event when my boy Akeem tossed out Macho on top of Liz, and Hogan brings her to the back, and that's after all the shit's been sort of fucking bubbling and percolating with them, and they're in the dressing room in the medical area, and Hogan's like, "Oh man, I just tried," and after Mach slaps him out in the ring and leaves, and Hogan turns the back, and then fucking Macho just snaps. I mean, that it's literally that where you buy into that, or Jake the Snake and Macho Man, when Jake had when Damien bit Macho Man and when he's tied up in the ropes. I mean, it's stuff where you actually buy into what's going on. So, I mean, it's been probably 30 years where you can actually, Vince McMahon's limo exploded. Well, Chris Benoit killed some people, so that gimmick is no longer. Remember that from Monday? Don't remember it anymore. Here's Vince McMahon. So it's been a while, but it's been good. It's been good acting. It's been good fucking wrestling, storylines, story arcs. It's gonna be sad to sort of see that come to a crescendo. So, yeah, wrestling. It's fun. So, with that, thank you for all joining and coming along this wild ride. You got to listen to Vinny. Sans, for most of the time, dog. Must have put it in like a dresser drawer or something. Said, quiet you. And if we take a gander, dead. Dead tired. From all the tap dancing it was doing earlier. Thinking it's the Shirley Temple of Dogs. What the fuck is this? Come on now. Such shenanigans. Thanks for listening. Thanks for interjecting. Remember, Eric needs to pay. Comment, subscribe, like. Watch wrestling this weekend. Watch the Final Four this weekend. Yeah. That it just Steamboat could sell. Steamboat could fucking sell. Especially when he went over that top of that guardrail. He just fucking sold it like he was in intense peril. He didn't care who was there. He went right over and like just choking and enjoy wrestling, enjoy Final Four stuff, baseball, hockey winding down the season, a lot of stuff going on. Enjoy it. I'd say spring's here, but not up here. So maybe where one of these people are at. No. Yeah. I know it's not me, because I should have taken a picture of that snow in Duluth in the mall parking lot. It was about 40-foot high fucking piles.
we're not getting any of that, but we're at the end of March and we're dipping down into the low 40s at night. It's warming up nice, 60s, 70s, but it's still not supposed to be low 40s at night in Texas at the end of March.
I'll take low 40s.
I know you would take it, Dave.
As a high.
I'm just it. this year has been extremely fucking weird with weather. And I think we're gonna have an interesting storm season this year here. I don't know. A part of me just thinks it's gonna be fucked up.
Yeah, we're still getting down into single digits or below zero. So the daytime heating of 30, if we're lucky, is instantly negated by the nighttime fall. So April 14th is when softball season games-wise start. It's going to be fun. Yeah, there's yeah, they got hammered with some tornadoes again, and shootings in Nashville, and I'm gonna send you guys something after. I don't know if he's down there, if he's got a kid, how old the collector is, because it's that Colazo effect. Now I don't know if that's his last name, but one of the officers that sort of thwarted this situation, the last name is Colazo. So again, I don't know. I'll send you that, and
I think his first name is Anthony.
but yeah,
The
collector.
YouTube guy. Yeah, the collector. So I think
So-
that is his last name.
So if he's older and he's got a son named Michael, I don't know. But I saw that on the old Instagram, and I immediately thought of that because I'm like, Nashville, Peyton Manning, UT. I mean, it's a very small puzzle, so I mean, I can sort of figure some stuff out, but you never know. So I saw that, but stay safe, pat each other on the back, help each other up. Sometimes if they suck, push people down, dump their books, throw a pie in their face. Not if it's coconut cream. If it's lemon, do that. No bread pudding. I found that out today. DC likes the bread pudding. I told him about. Or we start talking food, and the crumble cookies. So that raspberry one fucking was top notch. And like, I'm not a big sweets guy. I said, if you haven't noticed, neither am I, except like the gummy bears. That's like the main vice sweet wise. It's potato chips. You're fucking watching me eat chips every goddamn podcast. I mean, it's nothing new. It's like savory shit and potato chips. So he's like, yeah, the bread pudding, and he said like a rum something. I don't know, some southern bullshit. I don't. So DC, if you watch this, keep all that low rung stuff down on the lowest rung. I don't want that fucking smell to waft up to my raspberry cheesecake crumble cookies, or you might get the traditional crop dusting that everyone else gets. Then nobody wants that. So, Vinny, Steve, I'm Dave. This has been the Instant Revolution podcast. Remember, collecting cards, wonderful hobby. The friends you make along this journey, that's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.